We'll be ready soon, you guys. We're trying to live stream this, so we're trying to figure it out right now. We got to figure it out. We just got to make it happen. So bear with us. You sure? Am I actually on right now? Yay, we're on. We're live streaming. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for coming to our constitutional revival meeting here. We are going to have two speakers tonight. Wayne Conklin will be starting out, and Brock Maddox will be following that. A couple of things I want to say right away is we have some people running for offices. We have some signs and literature over at the tables by Tommy and Barb over there that are waving. Tim Rantham is running for governor. He'd prefer his donations to be online if possible. Karen Mueller is running for attorney general. Barb and Tommy will take donations for her. Our Constitutional Revival table is over there if you guys want to donate to any of that. Any donations to us for that. Justin Schmidtka has signs over there. His are free, but he'd like a donation if possible. And also Jonathan Wickman. He does not have any signs over there, but he's running for lieutenant governor. These people that we're talking about are constitutional patriots, so we support them. I guess if we could all turn our phone ringers off so we don't interrupt the live stream, that'd be awesome. Our first person coming up will be Wayne Conklin. He is a United States Concealed Carry Association certified instructor. Steve Rodriguez will be doing a prayer, and then we will be doing the Pledge of Allegiance. Steve, would you like to come up and do the prayer?
Thank you very much. All right, everybody, we're going to be starting. You can just remove your hats and bow your heads as we ask the Lord just to bless this time that we have here tonight. Father, Lord, we just thank you, Father, for this country, for this nation, Lord, for the plan and the vision that you've always had. And we're so grateful and thankful, Lord, to be Americans, Lord, to be here as just wanting to follow your will and your step, Father, Lord. And we know that you are always moving. And you always have a plan. And anything that's going on always is turned for your good and for your glory, Lord. So we ask that you bless the time tonight. We ask those that are here and online with us as well, that they can be blessed, Lord. We also ask you just to bless Wayne as well and Brock tonight, our speakers, Lord, that you could be speaking through them. And we just thank you, Father, Lord. We thank you that our hearts here, Lord, and our desires and the whole purpose behind what we're wanting to do is to really be one nation under God. We thank you in your name we pray. Amen. All right, if you would stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
All right, Wayne Conklin and his wife Judy are here. Wayne, like I said, is a United States Concealed Carry Association certified instructor.
Okay, I'm going to start off by telling you all I'm deaf. It's that simple. So when we get to questions, Corey will help me out with repeating what you said so I can get the answers correct. Anyway, my name is Wayne Conklin. I'm your instructor. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not here to instruct tonight. I can teach concealed carry classes. I'm licensed in 7 different states under the United States Concealed Carry Association. And Because of that, I run into the Constitution of the United States every class I have. Because of the confusion that our politicians have made out of the Constitution of the United States and the local laws that are all different. To give you an example, I'm going to give you a little scenario that I use in the classes. As you come into your apartment complex, you park in front of your first floor apartment. As you head towards the door, your neighbor on the third floor pulls a machete from his waistband and yells, "You're a dead man." Since he's threatened you in the past, you fear for your life, you pull your weapon and shoot him. Now, I'm not going to ask you how many think that's a righteous shooting or whether it's not a righteous shooting. I don't want to embarrass anybody, especially myself. But you know the answer, I don't, and it's not important for me to know. It's important for you to know. But I want to congratulate everybody that thinks it's a righteous shooting, because you're going to get free room and board and a new set of clothes because you're going to prison. And those that think it was not a righteous shooting, guess what? You get to sit at home, watch TV, and have dinner. It's really simple. The laws are so confusing that people think they have the right to use a weapon when they shouldn't. And what's really made it worse is some states have what they call stand your ground. Some states have the castle doctrine. Unfortunately, this law, or either one of them, only comes into play when you're in your home. It does not come into play outside of your home. Therefore, when people think that they have the right to shoot someone and use, they don't have a way of escaping or whatever, they're wrong. Plus, the stand your ground or castle doctrine only protects you from civil charges. You cannot be sued in your home if you kill someone. My job as an instructor for the concealed carry classes is to teach you the law as the law is written, not the way you assume it is or what you conceive it to be. And that's the hardest point for anyone to get, because the law is very straightforward of when you can and when you can't use that weapon. Therefore, there's a great deal of difference between use of force and deadly force. You actually have 4 rules of engagement that you have to go by. You also have 4 laws for the concealed carry classes for handling a firearm itself. So at this point, unless I can go on, I usually talk for about 5 hours when I teach a class. So if you want me to keep going, great, but I'm going to give you a chance to have some questions. If Corey will come up and give me a hand for anyone that has a question. I know that there's a couple of questions out there that Corey was waiting for me to answer, but we'll wait and see. If she gets up here, she's over here on the side, so she'll be here in a minute. Also, I not only teach concealed carry classes, I also teach defensive shooting. So anyone's interested in that? Yes?
So if somebody comes to your door,
She's got a question.
me, Julie, so if somebody comes to your
That one's
door
not working.
and they have a gun and they're breaking in your house,
Somebody comes to your door, they have a gun, and they're breaking in your house.
when I shoot him, does he have to fall inside my house? And not
When
outside
she
my
shoots
house?
them, does he have to fall inside the house?
He just has to fall down.
What if he
It doesn't matter whether he's inside or outside. That's a falsehood.
Yeah, because I always heard me.
It doesn't matter, no. Because when you hit him, blood splatter is going to show exactly where he was at when it was hit.
Oh, okay.
That's an old wives' tale. Dragging back inside.
Yeah. That's what always says, drag them inside.
Anybody else?
The mic's on now.
The mic's on.
How long is the class?
How long is the class?
My class runs 5 hours. The state mandates all concealed carry classes run 4 hours. I know I've heard of classes running 2.5 hours, and if that's the case, all the licenses are illegal because the state mandates 4.
I've got a question about the class. We took the class where we could have the Wisconsin certification. And then I guess there's a different one if you go shooting where you can have more states.
So she took the class that has her able to do the Wisconsin concealed carry, but she's heard of a class where it includes more states. Do you know anything about that?
Okay, what you're talking, basically, classes that, when you took your concealed carry class in Wisconsin, you got your permit. The permit is actually recognized in 29 different states. Some states, like Utah, offers a non-resident license for people to take from different states. You see it advertised all the time. You know, take it here and you get 31 states, you know, but you've done out of the state of Utah. Unfortunately, if you live in Wisconsin and you want to take the class for Utah, which gives you a non-resident permit, which is be recognized in the state of Wisconsin, but Wisconsin state law requires if you're a resident of Wisconsin, you have to take the class that was given in the state of Wisconsin because the state of Wisconsin does not issue a non-resident license.
Can you speak to the online concealed carry class?
Oh, yes. Also, the question was online concealed carry. You can't do it. Not in the state of Wisconsin. They do not recognize it. It has to be a person face-to-face. Wisconsin does not require live fire classes like Michigan requires live fire. But if you were a resident of Wisconsin, went to Michigan to take your concealed carry, unfortunately, you're wasting your money because you're a resident of Wisconsin, even though Michigan issues a non-resident permit. As a Wisconsin resident, you can't carry that weapon in Wisconsin. Your permit's only good outside of the state, not in the state. A little confusing there, so you have to be aware of your state laws. And that's why my job is to tell you what the laws are, not federal laws, but also the state laws, where you can carry and where you can't carry. And also have to tell you how to be observant, how to avoid a conflict in the first place. Because there's only one thing that you can remember here, is that if you're involved in a deadly encounter, you stand a 50-50 chance of surviving. No odds get better. They will get worse in a heartbeat. All you have to do is pick the wrong holster and the wrong weapon, and you're in trouble.
So if somebody has an online carry permit, should they?
Take a class. It's illegal. This state does not recognize online concealed carry permits. And how they got it, I'm not sure. But they're not supposed to.
She asked where you teach your classes. Where you teach them?
Oh, I teach my classes in Pound, Wisconsin. Also teach class in Little Swamico. I have some flyers over here on the table in front of my wife, and I also have some business cards. And since I am really extremely hard of hearing, I prefer email or text so I can answer your questions in depth and get them correct, because half the time I don't get them right when I'm hearing the questions. Yep.
Brock's got a question?
Yeah, yeah, is this on? Check 1 2 1 2.
Yep,
So
closer.
you were talking about stand your ground law. Some of the states have the stand your ground law. Can you expand on that a little bit further and explain what that means, and also what we have here in Wisconsin?
So the stand your ground law,
Pardon?
the stand your ground law, can you explain that and what it means? Stand your ground law?
Oh.
And what it means and what it is in the state of Wisconsin.
Okay, basically, the stand your ground or castle doctrine is designed for inside your house. And basically what it's saying is that because someone is breaking into your house, you're not obligated under the rules of engagement to run, hide, or try and get away. And that's the only thing that it does. You still have to defend yourself. You cannot, I'll repeat it, you cannot shoot someone because he's stealing your TV or your pet dog or anything else, because you cannot kill someone in any state. Gives you the authority to kill someone for stealing or damaging an inanimate object. It's for a person. So if they want your car, let them take your car. Call the insurance company and get another one, because you're going to be in a bad situation really fast. If someone's trying to steal your car, you go out there and try and stop him, you shoot him, you're going to prison. It's really simple. You instigated the contact that turned deadly, and you killed him. You want to go out there without your firearm and go to Fifth City with him, that's great. Only problem is what happens when you start to lose, or he pulls a weapon. You lose. It's the worst mistake you can make. And that's where the laws become so confusing. Even if he comes into your house, breaks it in, breaks the door in, walks over and picks up your TV and starts to walk out with it, you better not shoot him. For the simple reason...
She asked what if he has a gun.
Huh?
She asked what if he has a gun.
Okay, we just changed the scenario.
Yep.
Okay? But even if he has a gun, if he's never threatened you, you better see the gun. Make darn sure that he's got a weapon. And the only way you know that is when he's looking at you. Then you can realize that he's going to be attacking you. But if he just breaks in and steals your TV, I don't care if he has a submachine gun tucked under his coat. You shoot him for stealing an inanimate object.
This one's online. Hold your thought, hon. This is a question coming in from the live stream.
Okay. Actually, a retreat to a safe room?
The question is, ask him to talk about the retreat to your safe room before you can shoot.
You don't have to retreat to a safe room before you can shoot. But basically, you go out to look for that person stealing something. You're taking your weapon out there. You become the instigator at that very moment. You're no longer an innocent bystander. You went out there because you had the gun. If you stay put in your room waiting for him to come to you, you're safe to shoot him when he comes into the room. Going out there looking for him is about one of the dumbest things to do, because he's going to know you're coming and he's going to wait for you. Wait for him, because you're initiating the contact that turned deadly. That's why you need to take a concealed carry class if you're going to carry a weapon.
Oh, right here, Deborah. And she had one back.
You have to be pretty fast if you're waiting for somebody to come into your area and you're not sure if they have a weapon or not. You gotta be pretty fast to have your weapon ready, and if you do, you could be instigating even though they came.
She's saying you'd have to be pretty quick if they came into your house to get your weapon, because it's probably in a safe, and then to engage, you'd have to be really fast at that. Is what she's saying, right?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. And This is, some laws require that you take and then keep your gun locked up, keep it away from children, okay? Which is fine. Your ammunition's supposed to be locked up. I raised 2 girls with a weapon all available at all times. The way you do it is really simple. You educate them as they grow up about the weapon. And if you don't want to do that or not able to do that, during the day when you're up and around, you keep the gun locked up. When you go to bed, pull it out of the safe, load it, put it on your nightstand. The children are asleep. So
She
it's
had one
ready.
back here before. Did you still have a question?
Well, I guess I'm confused. If they come into your house
If they come into their house
and they're stealing your TV,
and they're stealing your TV,
if you shoot them dead, can't you just tell the cops that they were threatening you anyhow and they're dead?
if you shoot them dead, can't you just tell the cops they were threatening you because they're dead?
You might be able to get away with it. I can't tell you that. That's a scenario that I'm not a forensic technician that can tell you what's going on. But it's going to be kind of hard when his fingerprints are still on the TV that he threatened you. Unless he was going to drop it on your head, maybe that can be considered a deadly weapon. It depends.
When we took the class, Wayne, you talked a lot to us about situations. Now, once you're trained, you talk to us once you're trained. If you're in a bar and somebody's mouthing off, tell that scenario. I think a lot of people.
Where the guy, he knocked him down and
Yes.
got up? Okay.
And then we'll take one more from Brock unless anybody else has any more. Why
you want
don't you
Brock
take his
first?
question first, and then
Yeah.
we'll go on to that story.
Okay, so the Wisconsin concealed carry permit, can you elaborate on if you're traveling state to state to state, does that permit grant you the same legality in state to state to state?
Reciprocation between Wisconsin and other states changes every election. Politicians, they make this game. So right now, Wisconsin permit is recognized in 28 states. Now, Illinois doesn't recognize our permit. So if you're headed south and you're going to go through Illinois, technically, you're supposed to stop at the border, take your weapon off, secure it in your trunk, drive through Illinois, and then you can, once you're through, stop, take your weapon out of the trunk, put it back on. This is one of those things that we've been trying to get a reciprocation for all 50 states. Unfortunately, we have states like Vermont, which is probably the safest, the best state for gun owners. If you're a resident of the state of Vermont and you don't have a criminal record, you have the right to carry a concealed weapon. However, they do not issue a permit. So you're only good in the state of Vermont because Vermont does not issue a license. Some states like that do the same thing, but they will issue a concealed carry permit so you can travel state to state upon your request and paying a fee. But Vermont does not. And that's been one of the biggest things. Now they're coming up with what they're calling constitutional carry, which means you're not required to carry, get a permit. You're just a resident. You can carry the weapon. Unfortunately, I have heartburn with that because just like with getting a permit with your DD 214, showing that you were trained on a handgun as a Korean veteran, you'd be almost 90. You've never understood what the laws are. You haven't taken a course to know what the laws are, or you take hunter safety course, which is great. It's a 2-day course and it teaches you how to hunt in the field, carry a rifle or shotgun, track an animal, cross a fence, Handgun is not mentioned one time, nor any laws are mentioned governing the use. And they want to give you the right to carry a handgun. That's right, fine. Unfortunately, when you sign your application, you're signing an affidavit that says you know what the laws are and you will abide by them. So when you break that law, what's going to happen? Well, I didn't know what they were. Well, you either broke the law or you committed perjury. They've got you either way. That's why it's imperative that you take a class to know what the laws are and how to avoid the deadly situation in the first place. Because your only guarantee is a 50-50 chance of surviving. You want me to do the scenario or the same?
I think we'll save the scenario for when you take the class. Because there's a lot of really good information.
Yeah,
I took the class, my brother Tommy took the class.
There's a couple of people in the class, in the building right now that have taken the class. And, you know,
A lot of things that we
everybody
never thought
that's
about.
taken the class
Yeah.
enjoys it. I've had people that have had a permit from other states, even from Wisconsin, but for some reason they let it expire, come back and take my class. They found out that the first class wasn't anything that gave them any information. I had one gentleman, a little older than I am, if that's possible, that took my class, and he came up and he goes, you know, I'm really glad I took this class. And I'm going, great, you know, what did you do? Oh, I done hunter safety course for 34 years. And he realized that for 34 years, people are going out and using his class to get a permit, and he didn't even know anything about it. How the law, what the laws were. So
Somebody online is asking, what about property like trespassing on land?
Somebody on the live stream wants to know what if somebody's trespassing on your property? Trespassing on property.
you can go, hey, you know the best thing to do? Take a video of him with your phone or take a picture. You need to, call the police. Because if you go out there with a weapon and it turns to a fight of some type and turns deadly, you initiated the program. He wasn't stealing anything. You just went out there and instigated a fight that turned deadly. You go to prison. Plus, how do you know he was, did you ask him to leave? Or is it just that he was on your property, whether it was clearly marked or not? If it's a city property, it's pretty well defined as private property, and everybody should stay off of your property unless they have your permission to come on. In the rural areas, sometimes those property lines can get a little distorted, and you don't know whose property is whose.
Deborah's got another one.
What happens if they're vandalizing and they get electrocuted because they're
What-
stealing?
She says, what if they're vandalizing and they get electrocuted? By your fence?
Well, how,
By whatever they're trying to steal.
if they're, vandalizing your property and they get electrocuted, how does that have to do anything with a concealed carry permit?
It doesn't, but I
She's playing the devil's advocate over here, Deborah.
Huh?
She's playing the devil's advocate.
Oh,
So,
well, you'd have to probably talk to your insurance company and see who's going to be liable for the electrical current.
yeah. Brock's got another one.
I got one more question. So along the lines of that, if somebody breaks in your house and you shoot them with a taser.
If somebody breaks in your house and you shoot them with a taser,
Oh, well,
it doesn't kill them.
oh, well, there's a couple of things I've got to say about the taser. They don't always work. George Floyd was shot 3 times with a taser. 2 barbs have to enter the body penetrate your flesh to get the current. Current is done by a battery. We live in Wisconsin. What's the major enemy of batteries? Cold weather. Do we have any cold weather? Oh, yeah. You should have to shoot him with that taser within 10 feet. If it doesn't work, he reaches up and grabs the wire and pulls you or your wife, whatever, to him. There's something that is not recommended, and if he's charging you, his momentum, if the taser would even start to work, he'll be on top of you before the current could stop. And if he gets to you and you're holding that trigger down, once he lays hands on you, guess who else gets shot?
So, we could go on and on, but Wayne's going to stick around for Brock, so we will be here. He'll be here. If you have any questions, you can approach him. Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks
thank
for
you.
coming. Where's Dean?
Go ahead, Court.
I don't remember what he did. Well, I'm going to introduce Brock,
Yeah.
even though Dean's got a whole thing written up. I thought he did.
You went for tacos.
You gotta be kidding me, Dean. You gotta be kidding me. So this is Brock Maddox. He's here with Yvette. Dean, we're waiting on you, buddy. I'm like, where is he right now?
All right, sorry about that. I guess, well, I kind of went through all the candidate stuff. Our next speaker will be Brock Maddox. He is the founder and president of Freedom Fighters of Central Wisconsin. There is information at the table over there. I'm not going to read it really quick, but we've known Brock for quite some time. We obviously support him very much, and he is also the assistant state director of Wisconsin, what the heck? For America First. Sorry, I always forget what the letters are in the order of them. But there's also information over there on that. He's a very motivating person, so I guess I will, without further ado, Brock Maddox.
How's it going, everybody? My name is Brock Maddox, and I am the founder and president of the Freedom Fighters of Central Wisconsin. And 4 months ago, God blessed me with a story that is pretty unbelievable. And I am the assistant state director for Wisconsin for America First, leading statewide efforts in the state of Wisconsin for election integrity. These candidates that we have running right now, they need to get elected. The only way we're going to secure that is stop them from cheating. So I'm here today to share with you a little bit about the story of how I got to this place. I'm sitting here in front of you guys, and how you can get involved. But before I share that, I would like to say, Wayne, about I was asparagus picking one day, and that 40-foot mark off the side of the road, I was picking asparagus, and this guy felt like he was I was on his property, and he come out with a shotgun, and tell you what, I walked away pretty quick. All right, so July 7th was the first day I got involved, actually. And I'll let you know what got me involved. In 2020, we had the rioting and the burning and the looting of the buildings. And I was sitting on the couch talking with my son, trying to just let him understand how this was going, why this was happening. And it was difficult for me to understand. So he looked up at the TV with this, his eyes just getting in the water, and said that, Dad, that they should just shoot all them people that were stealing all the stuff out of the buildings. And I immediately embraced him, and we cried together. And my life would change forever that night. And I decided I needed, that I had failed my son. We were failing our children. So I went and dedicated my life to God, gave my life to God, and my life changed forever. So I created a Facebook group. It was just supposed to be a community tool for like-minded people to get together, because I live in a pretty liberal democratic area, and every time I went on any of the social media sites around there, I was getting attacked by 20 people, and nobody was there defending me. So I started the Freedom Fighters of Portage County at the time, and quickly it took off. I think in 2 or 3 days we had 300-400 people on there. 5 days later, I seen that there was another meeting at the park with 4 or 5 people, and I went and met with them individuals, and we decided that we were going to do something in our county and get together, and that was the day that it needed a leader. The group needed a leader, and we were going back and forth. I don't want to lead it. I don't want to lead it. Well, I decided to take the lead on this thing, and 2 days later, the Portage County Health Department decided they were going to do a countywide mask mandate, and we decided to put a stop to it. We put a call to action out there. I think we got over 100 and something people there to that meeting, and we struck it down. So that was a key moment, because when we had done that, it was a sense of accomplishment. Our community finally came together, and we were bold, and we accomplished something together, and we experienced the power of the people. That resonated within us, and we felt that sense of accomplishment. It was something special, and we held on to that ever since. And matter of fact, it worked so well. We started having protests and having bi-weekly meetings. So through COVID lockdowns, everybody was staying at home scared or whatever. And we started having bi-weekly meetings. People come over all from around the state to our bi-weekly meetings in person. And they were asking, what can we do? What can we do where we live? And I said, you take back what you learn here, where you live, create yourself a group, and then do the same thing, and you tell everybody else that comes to your group. So we're a very big role, vital key part of why there's so many groups in Wisconsin today. And we're pretty proud of that. And even today, still, I'm helping groups form. I think we got one in Economowoc. I think I'm helping. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, how we are going to save this country. It really is. You get yourself a grassroots group, a community group, nonpartisan, and you start holding bi-weekly meetings, and you give your community a place to congregate and come together and talk about problems. And that's what they did not want to do during the lockdowns. Put a mask on, stay home, be quiet, because of all the stuff that they were doing to us. We all experienced it. They didn't want us talking together, and we did that anyways. And we did a call to action with, I think, it was Wfaf. I think 38 of us got together against the mask mandate. We sent a letter to Joe Biden and also to Governor Evers, and pretty much told them where they can put it. And then, so I mean, I could sit here all night and tell you how many calls to action we've done in events. I mean, I didn't know how to do any of this stuff. Political, I wasn't in politics. I didn't know how to. Matter of fact, my first speaking engagement, I was Senator Teston at my event, and I was almost throwing up. So we've come a long way, but through it all, it just takes effort, I think we did 40 protests. We probably up, 30 or 40 events now, and here we are throwing some of the biggest events at the state capitol here with tornado watches and monsoons and through it all, and putting jumbotrons up on the capitol, and called crazy through it all. You don't know what you can accomplish unless you push yourself. You push yourself, think outside of the box, go big. We got to do something different. We got to do something different in this time. That's what it's going to take, is different. Thinking outside of the box, disconnecting from everything we knew about life. We don't have to live this life this way. That's what they want us to live life this way. Get up, go to work, put your 8 hours in, come back home, do your laundry, feed the kids, watch some TV, go back to bed, do it again the next day, pay your taxes. You know, I mean, and the list goes on and on. We do not have to live this way. This is how it's the game that they want us to play. It's time to stop playing the game. It's time to stop playing the game and create a new way of life. It really is. And do not let people tell you that you cannot do something. I just really wish they got rid of the word can't in the dictionary, because can't means you shut down in your brain. It's time to stop saying we can't do something. We are Americans. So, another thing is, you know, I hear this all the time, and I was guilty of it for a while, but I'm just going to encourage everybody from today on out, we need to stop blaming Joe Biden. We need to stop blaming that man. It's elderly abuse, what they're doing to him. It really is. It's not Joe Biden's fault. He's a puppet. He's being controlled. The real people we need to be mad at is the establishment, the people controlling him. So I encourage everybody here to stop making posts about Joe Biden and really start getting everybody's mind switched over to who's really doing it. Because when we figured out and spread that as far and wide who's really doing it, that's when we're going to start making these changes, and big changes.
I think we need to take accountability for
That was
losing sight of the Constitution. It's our fault, really, and our parents' fault. We allowed this to happen in our schools.
absolutely.
If we take accountability, we can speak to those that might not think like we do, and they may start to understand that we've all made mistakes.
Absolutely. And so I was going to encourage you guys as well at your grassroots group, right, weekly meetings here, like I've done in the beginning. I pointed to people and I said, it's your fault, 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 it's my fault. But now we realize that we're here. And dang it, I'm sorry. I've been here. I ain't got let it get this bad. I'm as sorry as every one of you guys, you know. And but dang it, we're here now, and we ain't gonna give up on each other, you know. Now that we know.
I've got so many. So you said you're trying to stay nonpartisan. How do you do that? How can you get people that might have voted for Biden to come and listen and start helping? Because we're all in this together.
Leading by example. Okay, she said, how do we try to remain nonpartisan and try to bring some people that might have voted for Joe Biden to come to the middle? Well, I mean, eventually, we're all being oppressed. The same things are happening to them too, you know, and their families are dying and stuff. Eventually, they're going to start coming back to the middle. And I understood that, you know, arguing with them, calling each other names, liberals, libtards, this and that. Well, what is it doing, really? You know, we're going through enough the way it is. And eventually, then people are going to wake up. Something's going to happen to them one day, and they're going to be like, what in the heck? Why was I like this the whole time, you know? So...
Can you speak to when you went down to Milwaukee?
Oh, yeah, I'll get to that real quick. I want to finish answering that question. So when I did start the Freedom Fighters of Central Wisconsin, we've held true to this motto since day one to right now, and I hold my members to this motto and throughout the whole 2 years. So it's the Freedom Fighters of Central Wisconsin, with God leading the way and the Constitution in our hands, and we the people by our side, will bring back the American spirit, American values, and the American way of life for future generations. And, yeah. We hold ourselves to them standards. We won't bend, we won't break, we won't sell out. We'll hold ourselves with integrity. And we command that all the time. In every conversation we have, every action we do, every post we make. Are we perfect? No. But as long as we got something to refer back to why we're doing this, hold each other accountable. Also, here's our mission statement. I would like to read that as well. So the Freedom Fighters of Central Wisconsin will be an instrumental force to carry forward and preserve our God-given rights, liberties, and freedom as Americans. These duties bestowed upon us and our patriotic members form a shield of impenetrable character and steadfast courage to always do what is right by our community in America. So that's our mission statement, and we stay true to that. And so when you say, how do you stay nonpartisan? Well, that's because we are for we the people. We are for we the people. First and foremost, I was never in politics. I ended up just recently joining the Republican Party because I was defending one of my members in my community, and I didn't want to, she was going to get attacked at the caucus, and I paid the money to get in there just so she wasn't there by herself. But that's the reason why I went in there. But other than that, and it was for her, you know. So it's we the people, being there for each other, holding each other up, you know. And it's not all business. You know, we used to get together as communities back in the 40s and 50s and 60s and stuff like that. You know, have potluck dinners. You know, we have potlucks. We're bringing them back, and you know, we had 50 people at our potlucks. Like, where did this go? Everybody is so proud of their best dishes, and then when you eat that, you know, it's something to brag about. You know what I mean? That we need to really get back to bringing back the American way of life. We had an Easter egg hunt this spring. It was bigger than the city's Easter egg hunt. You know, we go roller skating. We watch movies. You know, you bring them family events aspect to it. You know, so it's not all about business and being serious, because this stuff's stressful. It's stressful. And doing these protests, another thing, you know, we're teaching our future generations how to do it the right way, you know. So when I'm out there protesting, yeah, I took off of work. I went out there and I protested with the high school kids and showed them how to do it. You know, people's flipping us off and all that. And thank you very much, you know. Have a good day, you know. So, I mean, I can go on and on about calls to action. I mean, we got our school board charged with open meetings policy violations twice. We got our county, it's a Democratic liberal area, Portage County, Stevens Point, UWSP is up there. And matter of fact, I said such a good speech that we got our county switched to a constitutionally protected county. And so I have to give a lot of credit to a lot of other people that came up with that. What do you want to call it? The agenda that was written up. But we rallied the troops, and we wrote some good speeches. And I think the one I had written was 300 people had that courtroom roaring. And matter of fact, they wanted me to run for mayor right after the speech. So I'll put that on your page, so Deano and Corey, yeah, I'll put that on your page so people can. But that's what we need to do. We got to be just bold. I was sick and tired of them telling us about our Second Amendment was used for gun hunting and deer hunting and stuff, and I'm like, well, it was for hunting, all right, you know. I read it Encyclopedia Britannica, and then I read the Second Amendment to them, and their eyeballs got about as big as golf balls, but it's all right. So the Milwaukee story, you know, just through this whole journey, from my upbringing, and I'll also put our story up on your page as well, so you guys can get a backstory of where I came from and where I grew up. But I grew up in the murder capital of the world, over in Gary, Indiana, from 7 to 16, thrown into from living in Wisconsin, and then getting thrown into a situation like that where I've never seen any diversity like that before, and victim of racism, and just a little kid wanting to have friends and not understanding why I wasn't liked. You know, it was pretty tough. So I understood what racism was and had to deal with that growing up a lot, and it was tough. So anyways, throughout my story, and I ran away when I was 16, and moved out on my own, made a bunch of mistakes in my life, kind of a rebel, vowed I'd never be controlled because I loved my freedom. But I mean, I'll put the story on the page. But anyways, I was the man for the job. When I met David King. He came to Stevens Point. Adam Downmeyer was there, and I had told him that night that I had a vision of doing something great in Milwaukee, and here about 4 months ago, I met the individual that would eventually make that happen. Her name was Virginia Pratt, and thanks to Sandra out in Eau Claire for introducing us, because holy cow, it's been something amazing. So I met Virginia Pratt. Man, she's a lovely lady. You'll see her on our page in our podcast last week. But I told her what my plans were, and I want to go down to Milwaukee. I want to really do something down there to create some change. Everything that we were doing around the state here is working. It's beautiful. It's been some of the beautiful, most amazing part of the last 2 years I've ever lived on this planet. I'll tell you what. When you got people coming up to you saying, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. I mean, how do you deal with that? You know what I mean? You're doing something good, and it keeps you going more and more and more, And so I told her my plans. She wasn't sure at first. She's like, "This is Milwaukee, And I'm like, "I'm the one, set something up down there." Well, holy cow, she set it up in like the worst neighborhood ever. And I drove right down into Milwaukee by myself, and went into this restaurant with about 10 people, and sat down, ordered some food. I believe I was the only one eating. They were watching me eat, and I was digging right in, because my family I have black nieces and nephews, and Mexican and Asian. I mean, I got a pretty diverse family. I was the one to do this, I grew up in the murder capital of the world. I had it, So they were grilling me hard, and I understood what was going to happen there. They were very passionate. They've had a lot of people come down there and make them a lot of promises, and failed promises, and use them. So I understood that was coming, and they gave it to me hard. And I mean, he's in my face, just giving it to me, and Virginia's like, Greg, and I'm like, "I got it, Virginia. I got it." Well, anyways, I walked out of that meeting that day hugging and crying with these people, and it was something amazing. I knew if I had opportunity, it was going to happen. I really did. And I just went in there. I told them to unplug everything you think about life. Unplug right now. Everything you thought you knew about life, and we're gonna create something different. And they gave me that opportunity, and I give them a lot of credit for trusting and believing in me. So we scheduled a month and a half later, we scheduled we launched a group, We the People of Milwaukee. I sat down with Virginia for a lengthy amount of time over the next month and a half. This one took a little bit longer to launch, because it's a little bit different of area how they're going to do it, for safety reasons, because they ain't going to like a grassroots group coming down there, because they make too much money off of crime. They make money off their deaths and crime down there, so they ain't going to want a black We the People group. They're not going to accept it. But anyways, month and a half later, I brought Tim Rampton down there. I brought Karen Mueller down there, the Freedom Fighter group down there, Sandra down there, and I think they had maybe 50 people or something. We did it outside. They had their first meeting, and there was some tension there with their community, but they got 50 people in their community to believe in us and why they needed something different. The excitement was there, and I'll tell you what, they thought it was just going to be another political meeting. He just brought, and I'm like, okay, before I get up here, I'm going to do this differently. I explained my story on how I met Karen, and I was, here before all these candidates.
Can you describe Karen so everybody here?
Karen Mueller is from the Amos Center. Yeah, Karen Mueller is from Amos Center, and at the time we were fighting this COVID stuff and didn't know what to do, because we tried everything and protested and so coming to get somebody or what? So we done protesting, did everything that we could, and so we were looking for lawyers, advice for a lawyer, and we found Karen Mueller from the Amos Center. So we brought her in to speak at a Jordan Park one night, and I felt so bad for her because there was so many mosquitoes biting her up, and she hit there for 2 hours with us sweating and getting bit up by mosquitoes. And that lady has some passion. Let me tell you what. From that first time I met her, I could sense the urgency in her voice. You know, I could sense the urgency in her voice and the message she was trying to get across, and her passion and willingness to sit there and be eaten up by the mosquitoes. And that's all I could remember from that day. But she left, it resonated, a message resonated with my community that day. They'll never forget it. And so I just basically told that story to them that I just told you, and why I brought Karen Mueller there to talk to them, and that she is the one that will help them down there. You know, she will fight for them. You know, and Tim. I mean, my gosh, the election integrity was going on. Everybody here agree that the election was stolen? I mean, oh, so by the way, does anybody know what date the time runs out before they can destroy?
September 4th, isn't it?
Yeah, you were the one. So that was one of my prizes.
Well, I don't want to win that. Somebody ask another question. I should shut up, let everybody else answer.
All right, I'll save it for my next one. I got 2 gifts for everybody here. But it's September 4th. And this, you just can't make this stuff up, you guys. September 4th is my birthday. I've been fighting for 2 years, and election integrity, I mean, we held the biggest rally on the Capitol steps. And I just to further expand on what we did at the Capitol steps that day, that rally was put together in 21 days with me, Yvette, and Nick Dalton. 3 of us put in countless hours, 16 to 20 hours a day for 21 days straight on that event. We raised almost $15,000 from We the People, and then We the People put them candidates on them steps for a reason, because every single one of them people had a part in fighting for the election integrity through the way. So that event made history, as in that event was made by the people, for the people, and funded by We the People on the Madison Capitol steps. And it created history in so many different ways, and even with putting RVs and camping overnight on Capitol grounds, to putting the very first Jumbotron up there on the Capitol grounds. And then the next day, a downpour comes, and it almost didn't happen. I mean, I even had my boss from Virginia that drove in told me that he thinks that we should call it. And I made a couple calls, and I said the show's going to go on. And I'll tell you what, when you had them all, everybody up there, I mean, you put that much energy into it, and that effort, energy, and money, and blood, sweat, and tears, and it meant so much. It wasn't just for us. That was 2 years of work from everybody in the state. 2 years of work to be able to tell the world our story. And that video, I think it's been shared like 8,000 times or something. So, I mean, it's still getting shared around the country. And everybody got to tell their story for over the past 2 years. In the rain, in a tornado watch, and it was supposed to be way bigger than what it was. It was supposed to be way bigger. People are calling me all day long. But you know what? When it came down to it, I think it ended up even being better because it happened that way, and the commitment and passion from the level of speakers. That was the biggest, most impressive level of speakers ever, I think, on the state grounds. You know, flew people in. Oh man, she was on fire. Yep. Yeah, I mean, we had 4 people holding down the tent for regular Joe. At one point, Jefferson Davis almost called it, and I whispered it from behind him, like, "Don't you dare, man!" It was amazing. I mean, Janelle's out there dancing in the rain, and Gableman stepped out. He's in the rain like that. I mean, it'll never be recreated. It'll never. So. And it got shared all over the United States. So that, I think I was very proud of that moment, and I was blessed that everybody stayed around. I did end up getting pneumonia and almost dying the next week, but hey, that's what you got to do for fighting for freedom. So, yeah. Yeah. So let's finish the story about Milwaukee. Karen came up. There was this lady sitting in the corner in Milwaukee, just glaring at Karen the whole time, just glaring. I didn't know this story, and Karen told me a couple weeks ago that this lady was just glaring at her, you know. And all of a sudden, Karen went down there and gave her speech, like she always does, and it was impactful. And it must have did something, because Karen went and sat down. That lady came over and sat down next to Karen and went like this. Give me that sheet. I'm going to sign your sheet. Yeah. And then Tim came up. So time for Tim. I told him about the story about Tim, how we met a year and a half ago, brought him into my community. And I knew from the first time I met Tim that he was the guy. You know, he's a once in a lifetime man. There was something different with him. You know, he wouldn't even take the gas money that I was trying. He drove all the way there. I was going to give him some gas money. He didn't want it. And I'll remember that day for the rest of my life. But I just told them that story too. So not only did you take the extra time to make it sink in and resonate with people of why these people are the ones you need to elect, and you tell them, and you have to get it. They have to feel it, you know. And I'll tell you what, the way we set things up and do things, I call it the freedom fighter effect, because I mean, we get grown men crying up on the stages usually. I'll even break down once in a while, you know, and that's what it's all about. And Tim came up there after I told him the story about how I met Tim and why Tim was there. I mean, they gave Tim the biggest round of applause and come up there and was shaking his hand and hugging him, and they want him both to come back every week. Like, so it just, there's events, you can throw events, but then there are life experiences. And I like to think that, you know, the things that we do are life experiences, because if anybody can throw an event, you got to put that little extra love into it, that American spirit, to make it resonate with people and worth their time, you know what I mean? So it's just, how are we going to fix this country? Effort, American spirit, we got to lead in the way, and that little bit of an extra spirit and love, and loving thy neighbor. Really, it's what it is. Be kind and courteous, and lead by example. So that's a little bit about the Freedom Fighters of Central Wisconsin. I'll leave you with one more story before I move on to the WFAF, and this is how I got the job for WFAF. I was sitting at work one day. I was building arcade machines 40 hours a week, plus putting in 40 to 60 hours a week doing freedom fighting for over a year, and not getting paid, or just donating my time because I knew what needed to be done, and just I had to do it, just like I do today, and I still do more and more and more. So I told my team, I'm like, you know, I need to do more. I just put in a month's notice at work, at my job. I don't know what you got to do, but by 30 days end, I need to be getting paid to do this stuff, because I need to do more, you know. And I tell you what, the next day I got a call from WFAF to be the assistant state director. So that's how that happened. God blessed me with that. And then, so should we go into the first? All right. Has anybody here heard about the America Project?
Yes.
Okay. First person to get the answer right wins the hat. Who's the president of America Project? Yeah, you got it. So, Patrick Byrne, he is the president of that's the 2020. It's a collector's item. All right, did we cover all on the first slide there? I want to make sure we went over all that stuff. All right, so I am the Assistant State Director. John Chula, he is the State Director, but he does just mainly the phone calls and stuff. I do all the work pretty much, which is it's just the way it is. I like it like that. So these are our values. This is what we stand for: religious freedom, pro-life, free speech for all Americans, protect the Second Amendment, election integrity, American sovereignty, secure our borders and immigration, legal and immigration reform, protect American jobs and businesses, no sanctuary cities, and on and on and on. So that's what we're standing for. These are the efforts that we're going to be launching in the next 5 years, I believe. There's a 5-year plan, and I'll get into that. By the way, this logo right here, it took me 3 days to make that logo in like 70 different renditions. We're pretty proud of that, and I'll release it here today. And if somebody, I will give the shirt away. Can somebody pick out the subliminal messaging on that logo? Raise your hand first. First person to pick out the right here. No, yeah, that's one of them, but that's not the one I'm looking for. Huh? It's on the bottom. If you can pick the subliminal messaging on the seal. There you go. Worked out that way. Wisconsin for America first, and to make it look a little bit more flashy and a little, so it wasn't so blue, we got the freedom fighters right there. Wisconsin for America first, freedom fighters. So, you want to switch to the next? All right. So the priority issues, right now we're working on the Clerk Questionnaires. And we have the most done. I think we have, 17 of them done. It's by far most than any other state has done right now, and we just got praised for that today. So them Clerk Questionnaires, basically we're going into the counties and just asking them 10 pages worth of questions. So it's a pretty thorough questionnaire, just to make sure they're doing their job right. If they're not doing their job right, if you got you can tell if a person's lying or there's something funny going on, and then we put that data into a system and they do what they need to do with it. And early mail-in voting, require ID and proof of citizenship to vote, prohibit private funding of election process, so the 501c3s and stuff like that. Foreign funding from campaigns from the outside. So these are all issues that we're working on. Wisconsin for America First, and they have other organizations. We're just one of them one effort in the United States. They have a lot of different efforts. Patrick Burns, and then I'll get to who else is also helping with these agendas, but they are pumping in a lot of money. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of people helping in these organizations, fighting for our freedom right now. And the biggest coalition in the United States history is being formed right now. And I just brought along 2 more organizations, and I'll get to that at the end. I'm going to tell you something. So the action plan, okay, so we're going to implement the state-specific training. We just got done with our manual. Well, it's almost done. It's like 90% done. We will have a state manual for the election process. It's 120 pages. It's taken a month to do, but it's very detailed. It's going to be probably the best manual in the United States, and how thorough it is, and everything that we need to be looking for. The laws, the legalities. We're going to need help with them efforts. Yeah.
So, like,
Okay. Yeah, I'll get to that in a second. Yep. So we are Wisconsin for America First. The Freedom Fighters is how I got to doing this. The Freedom Fighters are different. So this, yes, we're in other states, and I'll tell you in a second. So the training is being developed right now. So we just got done with the manual, advocacy, long and short-term election observations. So that's the poll worker, poll watcher trainings, and I'll tell you right now, the Republican Party has a training program going on, and I've heard many people say they got done with that training and they didn't learn nothing. It's not very good. So the boss is like, yeah, you know, if you can get with some of these groups that you might be able to take something from them. I'm like, well, good luck with that, because they want to cheat. Yeah.
You know, I'm a chief inspector, and I have been doing this for a while, and because I noticed things and turned it into the Wisconsin state, I have not been able to work in certain areas. I'm like, emergency, oh, we need someone. So I know for a fact that when I was working at a particular place, there were 3 chief inspectors there that were not doing their job.
Yeah. So did they relocate you somewhere else, or they would relocate you to a different? Yeah. Yeah. That's what's going on.
They wouldn't call me in, and then I would call and I'd say I'm available, and they wouldn't call me in, and I'd call in again at the last minute. Oh, we have an emergency, we could use you.
So I mean, they'll call you enough to make it look like they're actually trying. You know what I mean? It's.
I was there when the lights went out and the machines stopped when we were supposed to be voting.
I can tell you, in my county, we caught our two people on the Democratic side electioneering. That was Eric Olson and who was the other one? Shore. So we caught a Democratic candidate for county executive electioneering. He was going into the poll stations while they were voting, which that is an violation of electioneering. You're not supposed to go in there. He asked 2 different locations what the numbers were, you know, which, I mean, regardless if you're just going and asking for numbers, it seems innocent, but it's breaking electioneering laws. The other, David Shore, did the same thing. He went in there, asked them for the numbers, sat in there for a little bit. They told him to leave, and we filed complaints on both of them, and they didn't do it. WC didn't do nothing.
That's because it's going up the ladder.
Yep.
You can start with Lost, Gingrich, you can go all the way down, you can get all around, and then you can be careful when you're voting that you're not voting for someone just because he's a Republican, because you gotta know if they're rhinos or not.
Yeah. Just before I get going here, I'll tell you about that. I've went around the state to really get to know these problems, and I'll tell you what. You know, we use this grassroots group to. Right now, we have Senator Teston. Hannah Teston is the chair of my Republican Party in Portage County, and we got her doing some not so good things, and it led to a situation to another individual. We've been at all-out war in our county party. We need to replace the board because they're working together. They are working together to hold power. It doesn't matter who we vote for in our county. They're holding the power, from the mayor to the sheriff to, you know, they're all working together. And when you got a Democratic DA running for a judge spot in the Republican Party and Hannah Teston and them bringing in the Democratic DA to get him elected for judge, there's some questions there why they want him in there for judge. Maybe because we put a 200-page crimes against humanity indictments to the sheriff's department, you know, that they had to investigate that. Or what about all the PDF files that we gave to the sheriff's department about election integrity? We hold our counties accountable. We hold them accountable. Here it is. We gave it to you. It's on record. You have it. Well, then they go and help a Democrat get elected judge. Never in my life. I got a police report out on one of the Republican chairs for threatening violence upon 3 members of our community. One's a city audit person, the other one was me. I mean, we're getting told to shut up, sit down, you know, moron. They're going to put a restraining order on me. Why? Because you're bad for the party. Well, let's go tell the cops that you want to put a restraining order on me because I'm bad for the party. You know, when you bring truth, facts, and evidence to these guys and call it for what it is, because I'll go right in there and I'll tell them, you know, the Republican Party of old and establishment is over with. It's over with. We the people are awakened. We're off the couch now, and we're here to figure out these problems and come together as a community for we the people. And they don't like it. They don't like it, and they revert to name calling and violence and bullying. So, and I've been told, because I've talked to different states, state leaders from around the United States, that they have never heard anything as bad as what we got in our county. Because I could go on and on. It's really bad. And people in politics for 40 years saying they've never heard of anything being this bad, and I didn't even tell them all of it yet. You know, so it's bad. 501c3 organizations, all kinds of stuff. It's nasty, but they're working together. It's time for us to get rid of 90% of our government from local, maybe even more, 90% from local all the way up to the White House. And all of them might not be corrupt. All of them might not be corrupt, but I tell you what, they all didn't do the right thing in the moment, and they already proved it. If you're my mother, if you're my brother, my father, I'm sorry to tell you, I still love you, but you do not deserve to be serving the public. You already proved it once. We need people with backbone to stand up for the Constitution, you know, and stand up for the people. I understand they might have been threatened with their jobs, or you know, we've heard of, unfortunately, a judge being murdered. I mean, these are tough times. We are at war. We are at war, people. This is war. We have been at war 2 years straight. I can tell you right now. It is war. The Democratic Party, if you guys didn't know, about 3 weeks ago, because Wisconsin is leading the way with almost 300 patriot groups in the state, knew we were making headway. I mean, what we did at the Republican County Convention created history. We taken that endorsement from the 5 candidates or 4? Yeah, the non-endorsed, yeah. 4. So, yeah, we have a unique opportunity here that no other state has. Unique opportunity that no other state has. I mean, they were making fun of me. You guys' little bubble of people. Your little bubble of people. I let them think that too. Right? And like I said, I would go around to party, and even I drove 2.5 hours after I got done telling Robin Voss from the Capitol steps that he needs to resign and go to jail. I drove down to Elkhorn 2.5 hours. I was like, is he really going to show his face in public? Yep, he did. And I drove down there 2.5 hours. Told him I needed to talk to him. After he got done telling John Voss that he could do whatever he wants to do. He's like, I'll do whatever I want to do, right in front of 50 or 60 people. And I said, right there is the problem. Right there.
John Voss is not related to Robert.
No, John Voss he's ID4 Truth on the Audit Chat. He's not really, John Voss is an amazing patriot. And matter of fact, we came there that day. We had Justice Kelly. They had Paul Farrow and Robin Voss, and let me tell you what, we gave it to them good, and it was 8 of us that brought a plan in there that day, and they didn't expect that. When it was all said and done, I told them that's why, now I know. I had done figured it out where it's all coming from. It's from Robin Voss, his king-style mentality, spread it all over across the state of Wisconsin to the higher, or the second-tier candidates, all the way down to my local party where they think they're kings. And that's where the problem is. It starts with Robin Voss. That man needs to go, and he needs to go now. We need to help do what Adam Steen needs. It is so important to get that guy out, because I tell you what, if he gets back in there, he's going to triple down efforts. We need to get him out of there. But I went right up to him.
We can do for Adam Steen before he was on.
Yeah.
He's not our guy. He's down in Racine, but we can door knock.
Yeah.
We can send him money. You know, he's not going to be the speaker, but he's going to make the speaker go away.
anything you can do for him. I mean,
Couldn't be more important than our governor.
he's very important. Very important. Money, he could sure use money. He really could use a lot of door knocking too right now. And if you can't give money or door knock, make calls and get somebody down there to help him. Call your friends or something. I mean, we all can do something. You know what I mean? Even if it's a phone call. Please help that man. Please. He's a good man. I met Adam Steen. Holy cow. What an amazing individual. You know. So, but anyways, I went up to Robin. I'm like, yep. Gotta talk to you, Rob. He's like, why would I talk to you? You're calling for my ousting at the Capitol steps. I'm like, well, yeah, I drove down here 2.5 hours, and I'll say it to your face that I think you need to resign. You don't deserve to talk to public or be serving the public, and you should be in jail. But I'm down here to talk to you as a man to your face and tell it to your face. And we can disagree about it if you want to, but you deserve to be in jail. He gave me a good 10 minutes, and he listened to me like, You keep calling for unity. Well, we unite. We need to unite. Yeah, well, we're not falling in line. We're not uniting with you. It's time for you to unite with us. And I suggest that there ain't nobody better in the state to talk to the grassroots people than me. And here I am. Give me 10 minutes. And I told him the same thing as I did Paul Farrell, that called me a moron, threatened me with, putting a restraining order on me. After I got done saying the things that I said to him, Republican Party's over, establishment, I told him right to his face that it's time for them to come to the middle, come down off your chair. He didn't listen, but he did shake my hand, which I was pretty surprised.
In case somebody doesn't know, Paul Farrow is the head state of the vote. In case somebody doesn't know.
Yep, Paul Farrell is the chair of the Wisconsin GOP, and Justice Kelly. They were all there together. They were there together. Justice Kelly was there to back up Voss and Farrell, and I mean, it was a war. That meeting was a war. It was a power struggle. But I think we ended up winning that war that day. So, anyways, it all starts from the top, from Robin Voss. I figured it out, and it ain't gonna change. None of this politics are gonna change in this state until he goes. I mean, that man, he's a mafia-style boss. I mean, people are afraid of that man, and he will come after you. Say a business votes not in his favor. You might as well start packing your store up, because if he finds that out, he'll tank your business or whatever. The guy's dirty. People are very afraid of him down there, genuinely. Okay, so help out Adam Steen down there. He needs some help. If you support his efforts, which we do. Personally, I do. So Wisconsin for America First, I'll tell you right now, is a nonpartisan organization. We don't endorse any candidates at all. It's nonpartisan efforts. We're trying to bring people back into the middle and basically just re-educate people why we need to vote differently. It's time to stop voting for the most popular person, or vote for her because she's cute or whatever. It's time. It's ridiculous. What I seen at the convention, first time I ever been there, and seen a Broadway show play up on I mean, if I went to New York City, I'd have been like, yeah, that was worth my money probably. But I mean, we're talking about for the most important job in our state, in times where our families are dying and we're being labeled domestic terrorists for going to school board meetings. I mean, it was ridiculous. So them times are done and over with. So right here soon we are going to be getting our voter rolls. We have every one of them in the state of Wisconsin, every city, village, extensive amount of them. So we're going to identify the low propensity voters with a goal of touching 80,000 people by November in the key areas that were cheated the most. So that's our goal. I believe if I launch this within the next 2 weeks, we can surpass that number, because we have the most people out here volunteering, involved, and the more we do, the better it's going to be. I mean, we know they're going to try to cheat. So the more people we get out and talk to, it's going to be better. So they want at least 80,000. I want to do 120. We'll see. Identify and train volunteer groups, which I've been doing, which we're doing right now. We're educating you guys to, get involved. Encourage you to get involved. We're going to need the election supervisors. So we're going to need everybody. And we have the training program that's second to none. Our training programs are held up in court. They've been used for litigations, so they're second to none. They're very thorough. So I was pretty impressed. We went from Virginia's state manual, well, I think it was 45 pages. Ours is 120. So it's very, very thorough. And we have a lot of different laws because of the WAC as well, which we need to get rid of. We'll talk about that some other time. Identify and focus on the problem precincts with long voter fraud history. I mean, you're talking Green Bay, Milwaukee, Madison. We're going to hit them areas pretty hard. So, large Green Bay, Green Bay. Can't forget Green Bay. We have efforts coming, and I think we got a county lead here. So rallies, bus tours. So we'll speak about the rally. I was going to speak about it at the end. Well, last week, I knew we were going to have a tour coming into the state. So yes, Joe Flynn, Julia Flynn, Patrick Burns, General Flynn will all be coming for a 2-stop tour, and yes, Green Bay will be one of them. So, I mean, I don't know where we're going to hold it and how big it's going to be, but I don't know if it's going to be big enough. Two-stop. I'm hoping to get at least 5,000 people to these things. And the goal is just to encourage people to get out and vote. I mean, these guys have stories to tell. I mean, Joe Flynn's down there at Disney exposing that all the time. Joe Flynn's out, you ever seen the Disney videos and stuff? That's Joe Flynn out there goofy and stuff, exposing why parents are coming in, exposing what's going on down there. These people, there's been a lot of, rumors about Patrick and Joe and General Flynn and stuff, but I can tell you what, almost 4 or 5 months now, these people are amazing patriots. I mean, they break down. We pray before our state director meetings every week, and it's just genuine conversations. And I just have to tell you, that Madison rally, we had General Flynn and Patrick Burns zoom in, and the very next week, Patrick comes on with his robe, drinking his dang wine, and he's, "Where's Brock at?" And he came on there to thank us for the Madison rally. So I just wanted you guys give yourselves a round of applause for being, Okay. And then, bus tour and related public activities to ensure grassroots support, targeted state-level digital ad campaigns to activate public support for the Get Out the Vote effort. So these are massive efforts. So not only we're going to do the trainings, and by the way, I'm making shirts right now for all of our volunteers. So will be free for every volunteer. We will have funds for gas. Gas is expensive. We're going to have some gas money for everybody that's out doing the door knocking. Also, for the volunteers, we're going to get about 200 volunteers together for a group Zoom meeting with General Flynn and Patrick Burns set up here in about next week, I think. Next week. So I pulled that together. I've been working on that. They thought it was a good idea, and they implemented it. So we're going to do that just for the volunteers to talk to Patrick Flynn and Joe, General Flynn and Joe Flynn and Patrick Burns. So that's just for the volunteers. So we're going to do this. If this is going to win, you guys, we can win. We can do something that's never been done in history. I mean, could you imagine all 5 candidates getting in there, 5 spots? Can you imagine that? I mean, it's never been done. And I can tell you right now, it'll rock this nation. It'll rock this nation. Wisconsin's going to lead the way. We can do it. We need to get people out. All we need to do is put the effort in. We have the endorsements taken. We have the program. We have the way. We got the plan. We just got to get out to college and help these candidates however we can. And if we do that in massive numbers, by the thousands, that's all it takes is effort, numbers. Who's going to put the more effort in? They can only cheat so much to where it's, we will win. This is the way we're going to win, and we're going to need each other. I'll tell you what, you might have to drag me across November. I'll be wore out, but I ain't giving up. I ain't giving up. We will not fail. No one will let it happen. So we're going to begin the door-to-door canvassing. 80,000 volunteers. I think we can surpass that number. He wants the names of all the volunteers right now. I told him, I don't have time to call 1,000 people. When we launch it, they'll come. So we have the shirts coming now. The manual's about done. We're waiting on the voter rolls. 2 weeks from now, this is all going to happen. It's all going to happen. And we have our state leads. I have so much stuff set up in the works. We got our literatures coming, tripods, all kinds of stuff happening right now. So it's very exciting things are happening. All right, September through November election day, the continue the door canvassing, reach 80,000. Ensure all precincts identified have trained volunteers ready for election day. That's going to be vital. I want them ready for primaries. I'm pushing them hard. Let me tell you, he probably gets sick and tired of hearing from me because I just tell him like it is. We can't do this. We can't do that. Hey, let me tell you what. If there's a will, there's a way. I told him I'll sell my house. If I need to get some funds, I will sell my house. I will. That's how much I believe in this. Ensure all precincts identified have trained volunteers ready for election day. Volunteer staff is ready and engaged from early voting to post-election counting. So we're going to need people there not only through election day, but just in case after the election day as well. So, all right, the long terms. All right. So the clerk interviewers, yeah, we're leading the efforts in that. I think we're going to be done with that by next week. That was a lot more effort than I thought it was going to be. But we've had some troubles. Obviously, some of these counties that were cheating don't want us there. Yeah. But I mean, that's still data. That's still data, right? Whatever you can get is data that we need. Obviously, if they don't want us here, they're not trying to let us in. I mean, obviously, they need to do some investigating, right? All right, so, yep, important element of the program, through the process. That's one of the biggest important ones. Even if you don't find nothing, these clerks know that you're watching, right? You put the pressure on, you're watching, and we're not the only organization doing it. I think there's like 3 or 4 more. So we're all helping each other. All right, so we're building the capacity network towards election day. Numbers. We need numbers. Like I said, we get thousands, 5,000. You imagine what we could do with 5,000 people from now till primaries or November?
I believe there's a poll training.
Yep, there sure is.
So I think that the more people that go to that poll training, people are going to see that we mean business.
Right. Do we have any information on that poll worker training in Milwaukee up there on any of them tables?
Is that for this weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Saturday. Or Friday, isn't it? It's tomorrow.
Friday and Saturday.
Yep. So I think I have Virginia Pratt that will be going to that. She asked me today. But if not...
So I have a question about that. So using discernment, because I was looking at that, how do we know? That's part of this, right? I mean, how do we know?
That convention that's going on Friday and Saturday, that is not. So they're going to be talking about this stuff.
But I mean, how do we know they're doing the detailed work that we want?
They're not. I know these organizations. They're doing great. They're doing great stuff. They are. They're doing way better than the Republican Party is. I can tell you that much. But they are useful. We are trying to work with them. There's no competition in this. We need to come together. There's no egos. It's time to put that all aside. I'm not trying to be better than anybody, but I can tell you what, I'm trying to lift everybody up together, you know. So whatever I can do to make things better, make it better or easier for all of us, you know. So it's time. So I don't know. I got until the morning to decide if I'm going or not. Well, I guess we'll figure out how long I stay here tonight. But yeah, they are doing some good stuff. We are going to reach out to them, coordinate with them. I mean, we don't want to double up on efforts. If they're in one county, hey, can we share the information back and forth? The data, we'll give you some data. You give us our, you know, whatever it takes to make it work at this point, right? I mean, it's time to throw agendas out, egos out. It's time to do this, what's right, what's wrong, what's wrong. Let's do what's right. Put all the egos, everything aside, and just get it done. It's time to just get it done. Really, I mean, how much do we value our freedom? How much do we care about our children's future? We don't have any more time past November. If we don't make significant gains this election and do something different and a wow factor in one of these states, it is over. They're gonna taste that blood and they're gonna bring it 4 times as hard. They're gonna finish this right off. They really are. This is going to be the closest. There ain't nothing more important. And all I can do is lead by example. When I am working my almost 4,000 hours in 2 years, I've donated my time. I've given up my life to this. And I'm not saying any one of you guys have to do that, but please reach out to somebody, call somebody. You know, even an hour. I haven't watched TV in 7 months. It's been the most happiest time of my life. So the 2 types of investigative canvassing. So the targeted voters who have moved but are still in voter rolls. So the ones, yeah, we got to clear the voter rolls up, make sure that they're there or not there. Commercial, yeah, the commercial available data and software screen the voter rolls. Yeah, so we have two ways to. We're going to go after the low propensity voters, the guys that usually don't vote in the primaries. We need to start knocking on them doors, and then we got to go after the ones that, you know, make sure these people are still living where they're say they're living, or if there's more people living in that place than is on the list. You know, like 40-something people at some of these houses. You know, so they. If you guys weren't aware, we didn't, that'll be on the next slide. They did this out in Virginia. Is everybody familiar with how the Virginia flipped out there, youngest one, whether you think he's a rhino or not or whatever? They flipped it out there. It was something amazing. It didn't happen in a long time. His name was Mark Lloyd, the guy that created the process and the program that I'm telling you about here. His name's Mark Lloyd. And so basically, Mark Lloyd's giving us the blueprints, and we've taken the blueprints and we've made it Wisconsin correct. And we're doing a phenomenal job, and we're knocking it out of the park here. Actually, we're very impressed with what we're doing, and mainly it's me and Yvette. Mainly, yeah, it's amazing. She's something else. I'll tell you what. I told her I'm gonna probably cry one day when they take her from me because she's doing so dang good. Oh my gosh. So the voter list audit involves canvassing random sample voters. So yeah, the random voters, the qualified types in the error in the list. So you guys, what this also does, and it doesn't just educate these people. Why it does a couple different things. We're doing a voter canvassing education. So we're re-educating these voters that just vote for the most popular person all the time, and the reason why we're at where we're at, we're re-educating them on why we need to vote differently. You know, why it's so important. Do you believe in these values, the American values? Give them a list of values. Yeah, we believe in that. Well, that's a good way to pull people into the middle. You know, and that's why we're nonpartisan, and that's another way. It does multiple different things. Gets people to vote differently. It gets people drawn into the middle. Yeah, we can agree on these. You know, most people do agree on how they want their children to be raised. So this program is amazing. All right. Let's see. So the cheating that occurred in the last election, while the second would be useful, providing evidence for, yeah. So right there, you see it. They've used our data to do voter reform. I mean, don't you think we need to change some of our laws? We can use this data, and that's what this data is going to be used for. So ultimately, when we do all this canvassing, we take the data, we give it back to the America Project. They put it in this big supercomputer, and then they come up with their report. And then they take that report, and then that's how we're going to get laws changed and passed and going forward. So amazing, amazing stuff is going to happen out of all of the efforts that we're going. It's just, I can't wait for it to happen because I know everybody's going to get out and help. All right, so team leadership, voter contact operations, door knocking, canvassing, get out to vote, event help, election day operations, fundraising. We need funds right now. I know everybody needs funds right now. It's hard. Gas money, it's inflation. We need funds. Right now I need to hire 4 people. So I'm putting all my stuff aside. And I told Mark, I'm like, man, if you guys are low on funds, I'll go get it myself. I'll figure out a way, you know. And he's like, well, slow down there. I'm like, no, man, it needs to get done. I'm gonna figure a way how to do it, you know. I'm just on the go. You got a problem, you fix it. Don't tell me you can't. I'll fix it. I'll figure a way. You know, we will figure a way. The team will figure a way. So we need funds just like everybody else. Logistics, data input, volunteer coordination, event planning. So these are some of the positions that we need. Mainly right now we need a volunteer coordinator, we need another vet, administrative assistant. We have another one that's pretty good. We got her, she's our secret weapon. Let's just say that. and then we need a voter, an official spokesperson. You know, I'm not the best speaker. Thank you for bearing with me today. But we do have an individual that is a very professional spokesperson that I would like to hire for some bigger events because we have an event. I'll tell you here in a second. All right, you want to flip it? It's some good stuff. Is that it? All right. Now we'll do the last one. The last one, and I'll get you out of here. So that was Wisconsin for America First. This is the America Project, so we're in association with America Project, and that's Patrick Burns, and I'll introduce you to the team, which the volunteers will get the privilege, which our word was last week, wasn't it? Privilege on, if you didn't know, Rip and Rabbit Hole every Friday night with Tim Rantham and group leaders from around the state. We do a word every week. Last week was privilege, so this next week is discernment. And I encourage everybody to listen in because it gives everybody across the nation a little bit of what we're doing all around the state and how many people are involved all over the state. So they're silencing us. We need to create our own media. We need to break back past them barriers. We're creating our own media. So you asked earlier how many other states. Go back for a second. The first one, yeah. So there we go. So there's Florida, Georgia, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan, Texas, and Arizona. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's one more in there. Which other one? Just 9? Okay. Well, we only started with 8. There's 10. There's one more. It's not on there because we had 8 and they added 2 more. I think it's Nevada or something. I don't know. But anyways, we had 8. The reason why we have some less funding is because they launched 2 more states, which watered the money down, or the funding down, and that's why we're hurting a little bit. And I'm working more. But anyway, we needed it to happen, and I'm glad it did happen. And we're just having to work through it, and it's stressful. But them are all the states. You notice something in common right there?
All the cheater states.
Yeah. If we can get 3 of them states back, it ain't gonna happen. It don't matter. We just need three of them states back, the correct ones. So there's efforts right now with all the work that I'm doing with that organization, this organization. I'm also helping Georgia right now. The Georgia state director passed away a month ago, and I'm helping that director launch in her state as well. So right now, Wisconsin's leading the way. out of all the efforts. Michigan, I think they replaced about 75% of their Republican Party in 5 years. And I think we're at 30% in 2. So, and we just figured it out by ourselves. Now I got a team here of people that have done the same thing. So I get to get on a state director call with some very important people all around the United States every week. And we get together with these state leaders, which are amazing patriots that fighting like heck, just like us. And I tell you what, it's very encouraging, and I can't wait till you guys meet them on that on that Zoom meeting. And it's just inspiring. So there's great stuff going all over the place here. We'll probably get Virginia again, Wisconsin, Michigan, Illinois just kind of started a little rocky. I think Texas will get. It's all over. We're gonna win this. We just need the people out and about, and we're gonna take it back. The red wave's coming, and then some. Not rhinos neither. It's the correct individuals. We the people candidates, and nobody knew what was going on in Wisconsin. You guys, nobody. When we started this, nobody was aware of what was going on here. Well, I'll tell you what. They've all seen the way, and they're all doing the same thing we're doing here now. So it's all over with for the establishment. It's only going to get bigger. Yeah, we'll skip past them. Yeah. So who's this? Oh, yeah. All right, so they're just a battle-tested team of entrepreneurs, special operations veterans, technical experts, professionals. They're expertise in law, policy, finance, coding, and analytics, cybersecurity, business. I mean, we name it. We have the best of the best in this organization, and I am so humbled every day that my name is sitting next to these people. I can't believe it. 2 years ago, I didn't know how to do any of this, and here I am doing this. My gosh. It's humbling. Look at this. Michael Flynn, Patrick Byrne, Joe Flynn. My gosh, look at them 3 right there alone. I get to talk to them guys every week. It's crazy. Laura Logan, Tom Homan, Roger Stone. Who did we have on last week? Who was that? She did the abortion baby bill. Janet, does anybody know who I'm talking about? Janet, she did the abortion baby bill. No, it's well, she's pretty. Well, I guess she's not that popular, but but she knew her stuff. You guys will know who she is when you see her, and she will be probably coming on the Zoom call and the tour. Tim Eisberger, man, that guy is holy cow, impressive. I was working on the state manual for 3 weeks. This guy gets a hold of it in 3 days and does like 80 pages by himself. This guy, yeah, he's the election integrity guru of the United States. I tell you what, that guy is amazing. And, huh? Janet Porter. There you go. Yes, Janet Porter. Thank you for that. Yeah, what an amazing individual. I launched a web link the other day that they sent them cards to our state legislatures. If you looked at it, 25, 50, 100, and she came up with that. That was her. Yeah. You imagine if 20,000 people did that and sent 20,000 cards to each one of our legislatures in Robin Voss, like it would take. I will here in a second. Yeah. You want to pull that link up for me so I can look at your phone? So, I mean, there's a bunch of his credentials. The guy's, my gosh, it just goes on and on. There's too much to read there. He's just amazing. He's like Superman. He's awesome. There he is himself, Mark Kevin Lloyd, the guy that came up with this system, flipped Virginia. I mean, what can I say? The guy's, I'd stand in battle with that guy any day of the week. He came in and drove in here to train our team. I couldn't make it to Florida or Virginia, fly out. I wouldn't fly anyways because I wasn't wearing a mask, and I told him. Matter of fact, I told this guy before I even got this job, I said, I ain't selling out. I don't care if you give me $20 million. I didn't trust these people. I didn't know who they were. I just told them like it was. I mean, like, you want a job? I'm like, well, I don't know. I ain't selling out for nothing. I'm going to stand by the people. You ain't getting me to bend or break. Money ain't going to sway me. So, I mean, if you're in it for the people and you can put up with that, I'm your guy. He's like, yep, you're my guy. So, this guy's awesome. He's one of the original. You want to go back one, right there? Yeah, I mean, so he was a Trump appointee with the Trump administration in 2016. I believe he was on the, well, it says in here, yeah, one of the Tea Party movement founders. There's one thing I wanted to tell you guys about this guy. He has been attacked bad. No, he was on a board for the Trump administration. So whatever. So anyways, he was attacked and called a racist and everything. He made national news. He was on Fox News and all kinds of stuff, just beat up, battered, and attacked big time. And that he's just an amazing patriot. Huh?
Badge of honor.
It is. It's a badge of honor. You know, I'm going through it right now in my local community with people running my name through the mud, and it's only going to get worse because they know what I'm doing. So, I mean, they don't get a $1.5 billion solar farm built around your house because you're a nice, you know, they know who's doing what they're doing, and they're pushing me off my property. But Green New Deal, that wasn't happening. Nope. Ken Mayo, there he is right there, Vice President of Field Operations. Ken's also an amazing individual. He's very well experienced. Has anybody ever heard of Ken Mayo? Yeah. Well, he's been in the political game for a long time. Field operations for Donald Trump, presidential primary campaign. Yep. He's the man. So that's Ken Mayo. You'll see him on the director call probably. Zoom meeting. Bianca Gracia, Chief Strategist for the America Project. Yep, she's a diversity outreach coordinator for the America Project nationwide. She's working with Virginia Pratt, and I'll let you guys know Miss Virginia Pratt from We the People. She is now our diversity coordinator for the state of Wisconsin. So I told her to stick with me, and good things would happen. And man, she is amazing. But yeah, Bianca, she's a big reason why Texas is winning down there. She's getting out the Latino vote, and she is an amazing patriot, very knowledgeable, and she educates other states. So she will probably also be on the volunteer call. All right, so there it is. That's the Virginia model that they started off with. Man, come a long way from that. Just voter and fraud, election integrity efforts. He gave us the blueprint, and the sky's the limit. So, is that the last one? Is there any questions? I probably talked to your guys' ears off too much.
I got a question.
Yeah.
How come Trump endorsed Michaels?
Oh, you're really going to do that to me? You're going to really do that to me? Before everybody leaves here, I just want to say one thing, and I will answer your question, but before everybody leaves here, I just want to let you guys know something. I got a call the other day, and from Turning Point USA, Adam Downmeyer, and I met him a long time ago with Dave King, that situation in Stevens Point, Wisconsin, and I had a conversation with Adam, and I said, man, we're going to do some great things. We're going to do some great things. And that was way back then. I didn't even know what we were going to do, but I knew we were going to do something great. He called me the other day and asked me to partner up with the Freedom Fighters, and not the Wisconsin for America First, the Freedom Fighters. And, what do you say no to that or what? Yeah, of course. But I'm like, hey, Adam, what do you want to do with this thing? And I'm like, holy cow. He had a good vision, and it's going to be called Healing Wisconsin. But I'm like, wow, we have an opportunity here. So I called Mark Lloyd for Wisconsin for America First in the America Project, and I decided that we'd bring them on and partner with Turning Point USA and the Freedom Fighters and a couple of other smaller patriot groups like the Freedom Fighters. And then not even the next day. Has anybody here heard of Public Square? Public Square? Okay, I suggest everybody to kind of get on there. It's an app, and it's a conservative patriot business. It's an app like they're trying to get rid of Amazon. They're fighting to get Amazon. It's to keep the money between us. You put your businesses on there. You get on there. You get rid of Facebook. So it's getting rid of Facebook, Amazon, and all of it, And they reached out to me to be they just launched in Wisconsin. Now we're the ambassador for Public Square, and we're bringing them on as well for this event, and it's going to be in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm pretty sure we're going to secure the MSU Cougar basketball arena. It holds 12,000 people, and we're trying to bring in the big guns: Charlie Kirk, Candace Owens, General Flynn, Trump. I mean, we're going big. So we're going to try to get them. There's a big event coming, but a coalition is building. A coalition of people, like-minded people and organizations, and everybody that's been out here fighting in the know, along with everything, all these efforts that we're doing here. These organizations are reaching out to individuals like myself in this state, and just coming together. And we're gonna have a podcast Wednesday. I'm doing a podcast for America First on Thursday, Freedom Fighters on Friday. There's such amazing things happening right now behind the scenes. I can't tell everything, but we are building a serious coalition, and for the going to future of this. So stick with us. It's gonna be a wild ride, and we will win. We will win. The right people are getting together, and they're believing in us, and we're believing in each other. We're lifting each other up. We're encouraging each other, and volunteering, and we're going to win this. So with God leading the way, the Constitution in our hands, and we the people by our side, we're going to bring back the American spirit, American values, and the American way of life for future generations. So keep the fight for freedom alive. Why did Trump endorse Michaels? Well, I could tell you a story about that, but I won't right now. There's a lot more to it throughout the day that happened. But when it came down to it, who knows? We know Trump isn't ignorant. I've sent messages into him. Everybody sent messages into him. I mean, Trump's well aware of my efforts. I could tell you why, but I won't. He's very well aware of what we're doing. I didn't get picked to do this job for nothing. You know, they've been waiting for somebody with this, like myself. And that's why it happened. At first, I'm like, yeah, you know, ain't no way. There's got to be somebody out there smarter. It's too easy. But, I mean, after a while of things happening, you're just like, okay, God, let's do this thing. You know what I mean? and you just believe in it. But who knows, you know? Who knows? I mean, I'd like to think that he just highlighted Michaels for what he isn't for the state. You know what I mean? That's what I like to think. You know, it is what it is. Trump's not an ignorant man. There's a lot of rumors out there, but let's give him the benefit of the doubt and just trust in ourselves. It doesn't matter who they endorse. We still have work to do. It doesn't change what we have to do. We still got to do what we got to do. We didn't want the endorsement anyways, right? I mean, we took it away at the Republican convention. It doesn't really, would have been nice? I mean, yeah, but when it comes down to it, they need to get rid of the endorsement. Everybody needs to be on a level playing field. Every candidate needs to be able to speak at every freaking platform, excuse my language. But it needs to be, the whole system needs to be changed again. It should be no endorsements, everybody on the level playing field, and let the people decide. Stop buying these elections off. It ain't fair. Right now it doesn't matter. And our vote doesn't matter. They allow us the perception that we're free. We're not free. We're not. We haven't been free for a long time, but they allow us the perception for us to believe that we're free. They allow us the perception to believe that our vote matters. We are playing a game. They're just sitting back laughing at us. Our vote don't matter. It hasn't mattered for a long time. They're working together, you guys. It's the greatest. And we need to start calling it for what it is. We need to stop blaming Biden. We need to start blaming the establishment and calling this stuff for what it is. And that's how we're going to fix this stuff. It is what it is. It's as bad as it is. It's bad, and it's worse than what we're seeing. And even when I'm telling you, it's worse than that. You know, the only way we fix this country, the Second Amendment will not save this country from communism. The Second Amendment will save you. It'll keep this country at a level of peace. But that Second Amendment will not save this country from communism. And that communism coming. And they're going to attack and attack and attack. If we went to civil war right now, I'm telling you what, they got weapons. They push a button and it'll take out 1 million people. There ain't no way we're winning that. The way we have to win is the way I'm teaching you right here. Taking our elections back, voting in the right people, and you making sure that they're the right people for we the people. And we take control back of this country, one election at a time, one poll watcher at a time, one door at a time. That's how we the people, the biggest, most powerful weapon on the face of this earth is right on the top of the Constitution. And the biggest letters there are, we the people. We are the weapon. This is our guideline. We follow that and we take this country back. Yep.
That we've all been signing, where is that going and what happened? I mean, I've sent it out to a gazillion people and they have too. I don't know if they signed it, but.
I got my own feelings on that, and I'm going to keep this a positive meeting, but do what you want with it. The maladministration and the affidavits, yeah, I mean, they serve a purpose, right? They serve a purpose in a normal world, okay? I'll say it like that. The affidavits, they serve a purpose in a normal world. They get you educated on the law. You know, it teaches you the process. It gets you educated, right? Gets you interested and educated. In a normal world, they would work. They don't care right now. They're ripping up the Constitution. We've done as much as we could. I went talked to Voss to his face. That we did rallies. I mean, we have fought hard, did everything that we possibly could. So, sign it if you want to sign it. You know, if you believe in it, send it in. I think that's going to take a little bit of time to do because they got to sign it, send it in, and then I don't know what they're going to do after that. I can talk to the individual that did it. She'll be on the show tomorrow. Maybe we'll talk to her. And then also that card. Do you have that card pulled up? That link? That link that we got from the postcard cartoon link? And then do you want to share that to is everybody on the live feed right now? She's going to share that link to the live feed, and that is another way. That's the postcard. And that basically is just highlighting that September 4th is the day that they can destroy every bit of evidence in the country on the 2020 elections. September 4th, time runs out. They can destroy all of the evidence legally at that point. September 4th is it. My birthday, go figure. That's the day. It runs out. We got to do something before then. So we got to chew gum and walk at the same time here. I mean, and that's what these efforts are for. The maladministration and this effort here, it's like to give it one last hurrah. Are they going to do something? Probably not. You know, they're all in at this point. Robin Voss, if he does anything, if he schedules a special session, at that point he is admitting some type of guilt just by holding a special session, because it gives it legitimacy. So he ain't gonna do that. I guarantee you, his lawyers have advised him to just dig in. So that's the way it is. You know, it's sad. It's sad, but that's where we're at with it.
Any more questions?
I have a question. It's
on one of your slides, you said that you believe in school choice. Could you explain that a little bit further, what that means to you and?
The money
everyone in
follows
your
the child, the school choice. The money follows the child, their vouchers and, yeah. I mean, if you want to homeschool your child, you know, you should be able to homeschool your child.
And where does that money come from?
Where does the money come from? It would be the same money that the child follows the child in the school system right now, the public school system. And I'll add one thing, you guys. You know, these school shootings and stuff, they are designed, okay? This doesn't happen. This is not by accident. I mean, it's so bizarre. It's so bizarre, the Uvalde thing. My gosh. I mean, I'm even hearing reports that that was not even, I think it was, people saying it didn't even happen. It was like fake, you know, and so they're playing with whether, if it is, no matter what, it's tragic. If they're lying to us or not, it's tragic all the way around. But I'm telling you right now, the public education, the school system, these public schools have failed. They're a failed system. Yeah.
I've been homeschooling since 2007.
Mm-hmm.
I've graduated 2 children and I have 1 left.
Yeah, great.
And
Awesome.
The thing I hear a lot these days from people that have started homeschooling within the last 2 years especially is that they want this school choice.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with the school choice is when the government is involved in deciding where the funds go, they also get their opinion.
Control.
Okay, so if the government gives us our tax money back, right, and says, you're homeschooling, here's the money that the public school system would have gotten for you. How long do you think it's going to be before they say to you, okay, but you have to teach this?
Oh.
And you can't teach that.
They're going to do it. They're doing it now, aren't they?
School choice is that what you're doing is
You're just making that happen to homeschoolers. Right now, I have all the freedom in Wisconsin.
They don't come visit?
is exactly the way I want to.
Okay.
I don't want money. Now, do I hate the public school system? Absolutely, it should be destroyed. However, I will gladly pay the $2,500.
I get where you're going with this.
To keep them at bay,
Yep.
out of
That's
my
where you're
home,
going with it. Yep.
out of my grandchildren's home.
I would encourage you. I would encourage you to give me your contact information, and I'll get you in contact with my boss. They need to hear that stuff from the parents.
It sounds like a great idea. It really does.
You know,
Where the shackles go, the shackles go.
I've heard you're about the 3rd time I've heard this, and that's what the homeschooling parents are afraid of with school choice. Is that, you know, you guys are doing, you got the freedom, it's good thing right now, but when they start giving this choice, then here comes the trouble with it. Another thing I heard is, you know, PMAs, or is that what it is? Where the it's an organization where you can get together as a neighborhood and one parent to teach all your children, which is legal underneath, but the government don't accept it right now. But it's legal, and they're going to come after you for doing it. Amber Sansala on our page. I encourage you to connect with her because she has some great information on that. I can also connect you with her. But you're right. It's time. This public school system has failed for decades. Right now, I mean, they're making it easy for these people to do something like that, a school shooting. And then what's the solution? We're going to put doors and cages on these schools and put armed guards in there. I mean, it turns into a prison at that point and mentally messes with your kids even more. Just really think about what we're asking for, you know, there. Do we want to send our kids to a prison, get them institutionalized, you know, for their education? That ain't a quality of life. It's time to really it's time to live life differently, create new things, bring the kids back home, figure it out. You know, we can figure things out. Of course, you're going to have sacrifices, but do we care about our children? You know, do we? I mean, do we really? Because sending them to them public school systems there where they're getting indoctrinated just so you can go to work for making a paycheck, I mean, that is not a life. It's a slave. It's slavery. You don't even own your kids. They're not your kids anymore. You're public. You house your kids for the government. That's what you're doing. You're housing your children for the government to indoctrinate them and use them, and it's nasty. If you know, yes, that's what's really going on. It really is. It's nasty. It's bad. It's bad. So I just encourage everybody to just really think about this type of thing. We don't have to live this life this way. We don't have to live life this way. We don't. We don't. And it's just time to start thinking outside the box and making them sacrifices. We can change the whole view of how we live, you know, by conversations like this. Figure it out. Bring the kids home. Okay, well, let's bring them home. Now we got problems. Let's figure it out, you know. So.
Yeah, there were some huge problems when we started homeschooling. It was a real learning curve.
Yeah.
But my nephew, who's only about 6 months older than my son, is about a year behind my son when it comes to math. And that's just because I'm there constantly. It's that one-on-one. Kids in schools don't get that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's so many studies out there to say homeschool kids do so much better than kids in the public school system, you know. So, good for you, man. Good for you.
Maybe we need to do a whole thing on homeschooling.
Yeah, I mean, the sky's the limit. This is awesome. Well, I appreciate everybody giving me the time tonight. Yeah, I thought it was amazing. Amazing. There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I just want to say something real quick. Brock inspires so many people. It's disappointing that there weren't more here to be inspired, but they are watching it on the live stream. And if each one brings one to the next meeting, bring somebody, you know, make it hard for them to say no. We have to start, I mean, Brock has been doing this, and I'm humbled by, these two are constantly telling us how great we're doing, but holy cow, are we behind compared to what they've done. So our group needs to get going, and we need we need to get younger people in. Look how young Brock is. Look at our average age in here. We need our kids to come in, because if you get too old, you get antiquated, and then you're not doing newer things, reaching everybody. We need to reach more. So, like Seth Keschel says, if not you, then who? Thanks, guys.
The Manitowoc GOP, if they'd like a Karen Mueller sign for the window, they said, who's that? Where was that?
That's horrible. Which?
Thank you all for coming. I guess I'd like to thank Zoltan Wallace of Flatline Studios. Our admins are Melissa, Corey, Barb, Lisa, Heather, Sandy, Steve, Tom, Jason, and myself, Deano. Thank you. Our motto on our sign right here is Unite, Educate, Empower, and Lead. Unite, we have to get together and talk more about everything that's going on. We can't just, don't talk about that. You can't talk about that right here. No, yeah, we can. We have to unite and start talking about these things. Educate, what we just did today. A little bit of education, learn something. Empower. Brock empowered probably our whole group, hopefully you folks as well. And lead. We have to lead people to think about these things that are going on. We have to get going here with this. This is it. We have to start doing something. We have to start abiding by the Constitution, period. Right as it's written. No changing it, none of that crap. So thank you for coming. God bless everybody. Oh, yeah. Okay, I guess I'm not done. There's a governor debate on Monday the 27th. I believe that's going to be streamed as well. Also, our next... oh, yeah. Yep.
But you can listen on WTAQ.
Well, if you can give me the link, I will blast it everywhere.
It's on the radio, it's not a regular.
Regular Joe, okay. All right, and then our next event is going to be July 14th. I believe Jefferson Davis, I always say his name wrong, is part of HOT Wisconsin, Honest, Open, and Transparent. That will be our next event. I believe it's going to be here again. So please pass the info once we post it on our page. Just share it around. Let's get tons of people to go to these things.
Each one bring 10.
Yeah.
Good.
If you haven't heard Jefferson Davis, he's amazing.
Yes, he is unreal.
Ways they cheated. It's very alarming, but very educational. And I suggest you go and connect with him one more.
Yeah,
This Saturday.
come on over.
All right, so our Freedom Fighters 2-year anniversary event is in Marshfield, Wisconsin at the Belvedere for United We Stand, We the People, 2-year anniversary event with the Tea Party of Central Wisconsin. It's going to be an amazing event. We encourage everybody to join us. It's probably going to be a pretty emotional one because we're going to back off the Freedom Fighters events for time being so we can accomplish our mission here. So going to be an emotional one for me, but we're going to grow a bigger family. So it's for the greater cause. So
Nice.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right, I guess I can close it today. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for listening and watching as well.